What many brothers fail to realize is this, what's written in Romans the 2nd chapter and 11th verse. It reads as follows. For there is no respect of persons with God. See, God is not a respecter of person. God is going to reward one if he's obedient, regardless of nationality. And he's not going to give you a righteous reward if you have done unrighteousness just because you are an Israelite. God is not a respecter of persons. Let's read this in the 26th verse. It says, therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? Okay, verse 28 reads, for he is not a Jew which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew which is one inwardly. And circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God. The Lord is looking at a man's heart. He's looking at a woman's heart. He's looking at your actions. He's looking at righteousness regardless of your nationality. And I'll tell you something else. He has always looked at it that way. Let's go to Isaiah, the 56th chapter. We're in the Old Testament now. Isaiah, the 56th chapter. And we are going to substantiate the fact that rewards are based on obedience. Period. Isaiah 56:1, it reads, thus saith the Lord, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come, and my righteousness to be revealed. We're approaching this time. Listen to what he says, though. He says in verse 2, blessed is the man that doeth this, and the son of man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath day from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Okay, so this is what he said. We need to keep his Sabbath day. Hey, I know it's called a Jewish Sabbath, but there is no such thing as a Jewish Sabbath. God sanctified the 7th day in Genesis. Okay, it is his Sabbath, and it is for all people. Verse 3, neither let the son of the stranger that have joined themselves to the Lord speak, saying, the Lord hath utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, behold, I am a dry tree. So the Lord is saying here through the mouth of Isaiah, through the words of Isaiah, he says, hey, look, don't say just because you're a stranger that you are separated from me. Verse 4, for thus saith the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant. Listen to what he's going to do for those strangers who obey his word. Verse 5, even unto them will I give in mine house and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. Now who are these sons and daughters? These are the children of Israel. And he said he's going to give those who are of other nations a name better than them. He says also the sons of the stranger that join themselves to the Lord to serve him and to love the name of the Lord, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it and taketh hold of my covenant. Listen to what he's going to do. Even them, now we're talking about the stranger, even them will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar, for mine house shall be called an house of prayer for all people. See, this is what the Lord is doing. He is for all people who will be obedient to his laws, his statutes, and his commandments, regardless, again, of nationality. Let's go to Matthew, the 8th chapter. Let's look at something that Jesus said. This is in Matthew, the 8th chapter. And this is after he healed the centurion's servant. The centurion was a stranger. Okay, but he was beloved by the people. I'm going to just read it. Matthew 8 and verse 5, and when Jesus was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. So the centurion believed. He didn't even need the Lord to come to his house. He said, hey, look, I am a man who has people under me. I rule over men. And when I say go, one goeth. And when I say cometh, one cometh. He says, for I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth. And to another, come, and he cometh. And to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. Verse 10 reads, when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. Now this was a stranger, but he had more faith than many Israelites. And listen to what Jesus goes on to say. And I say unto you, that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. So what is that saying? He's answering the question that I posed. Will other people be saved? Will God save other nations? He says it right here. Jesus, the Savior, says it. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Now listen to what he says about some of the physical Israelites. But the children of the kingdom, talking about Israel, shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay? So, in this instance, you have some that are from other nations that are saved, and some Israelites that are not saved. Again, this is not predicated on your nationality. God is not a respecter of persons. Let's go to Ezekiel. Because he's going to establish his kingdom of heaven. It's going to be on the earth. That's why we even pray, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. It's going to be a heavenly kingdom right here on earth. And he is going to regather Israel from all the four corners of the earth, from all the nations of the earth, after he comes back in wrath and establishes his kingdom. And he is going to reestablish Israel among the nations that are left on the earth. And he is going to give them their inheritance in the land. Because like he told Abraham, he said, hey, you're going to dwell in this land forever. You would have to, if you're going to dwell in that land forever, you would have to live forever. This is after the resurrection. He's going to have resurrected beings, but he's also going to have still some other people on the earth. And he is going to give them land. He gives all the 12 tribes land. Listen to what else he does. Now this is in Ezekiel. Again, this is in his kingdom. This is Ezekiel, the 47th chapter, and we're going to start about the, let's see, let's just get right to it, the 21st verse. Ezekiel 47 and 21 reads as follows. So shall ye divide this land unto you according to the tribes of Israel. So Ezekiel writes about what this earth and what this planet is going to look like. He talks about the healing waters that are going to heal the earth. He talks about how the land is going to be split according to inheritance of the 12 tribes. Listen to this. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the stranger that sojourn among you. Again, we go back to that stranger. He said in Exodus, one law for you and one law for the stranger. Which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have an inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. So again, it is ludicrous for one to say that only Israel will be saved. Let's go to Romans. Back to Romans. Because I just want to mention this. I get a lot of questions. And I get a lot of questions from people who only believe in the Old Testament. They say the New Testament is no good, but when we go back and read the Old Testament, we find that it's saying the same thing as the New Testament. And we also find that you had limited understanding in the Old Testament. The old and new go together. The old and new go together. Okay? I want to go here to Romans, the 11th chapter, because although Israel is in a low state, okay, and we are at the bottom on the societal ladder, so to speak, this was for a reason. Okay, this occurred because of our disobedience, but it also brought about something else. Romans the 11th chapter. This is Paul. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. Okay, so he has not cast away his people. It is ludicrous for one to say this. But listen to what he did. God had not cast away his people which he foreknew. Okay, we'll skip down to the 21st verse. It reads, for if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee.